As we step into a new year, we have a natural tendency to think about our health goals for the year ahead. According to a Forbes health survey, this year the most common New Year's resolutions include improving fitness, improving finances, improving mental health, losing weight, and improving diet. These are pretty common commitments and resolutions. At the beginning of the year, we decide that it's finally time to start taking better care of ourselves. But do you know how long people actually stay committed to these new healthier habits or practices? In today's video, we're going to talk about that, as well as the 3 most common obstacles that pull us off course. And most importantly, we'll talk about how to be successful in keeping your self-care commitments all year long. Hey there, welcome to the Daily Glow channel. I'm Dr. Nicole Maholi, and on this channel, self-care is our top priority. So consider this channel your go-to source for self-care tips and inspiration that help you live a radiant, healthy life. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button to join our growing self-care community and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on the latest insights and tips. Giving up on our New Year's resolutions or self-care commitments is so common that January 17th is unofficially referred to as Ditch New Year's Resolutions Day, and the second Friday in January as Quitter's Day. According to the Forbes Health survey I mentioned earlier, only 13% of people keep their resolutions for 4 months. Why do you think that is? Right now, we're going to highlight 3 of the most common obstacles that prevent us from staying committed to those self-care goals. The first obstacle is setting unrealistic goals. Setting goals that are unrealistic can result in feeling frustrated, disappointed, and even defeated, which forces us to abandon the goal. For example, maybe you decide your goal is to run a marathon. But if you aren't a runner, by the second week of training, if a 3-mile run still feels really difficult, that marathon might feel impossible, making you more likely to give up on running altogether. Another common obstacle, which I believe is the biggest obstacle, is a lack of planning. What's true for a lot of people is that we choose a big picture goal, like improving fitness, and maybe we even take the first step, like signing up for a gym membership or purchasing a fresh pair of gym shoes. But what can set us up for failure is that too often we don't plan out the smaller details. Specifics like, what is this habit going to entail? And when is this going to fit into my life? In this example, that would include details like, what type of exercise am I going to do? Where am I going to do it? Which days of the week am I going to work out? And what time will this habit fit into my schedule best? When we don't plan out these finer details, it's too easy to fall back into old habits and routines and make excuses for not maintaining those new habits. A third obstacle is lacking accountability or support. Without a system for support or accountability, it's too easy to abandon those commitments to yourself. So how then do we turn things around and stay committed to our self-care goals all year? It starts with setting realistic and achievable goals. James Clear, in his book Atomic Habits, encourages setting goals that feel easy to achieve. The example he shares is, rather than choosing a goal of doing 100 push-ups per day, which might feel really difficult and unrealistic, start with just 1 push-up each day. When we choose habits and goals that are realistic and achievable, the win that we experience every time we successfully implement that habit serves as motivation and fuel to keep going. Setting realistic and achievable goals sets us up for success. The next and most important thing you can do to keep your self-care commitments all year long is to plan them out. Figure out the smaller details, like what are the exact steps that this habit entails? What days of the week and what time will this habit fit best into my schedule? Choosing a specific time to implement these habits into your life each day or week is what researchers call implementation intentions, and studies show that they're effective for helping you stick with your habits. I'm going to share a tool with you in a moment that will make this so much easier and will dramatically improve your ability to be consistent with these important habits that can really elevate your life in so many ways. Another important tactic for staying on track is to bake accountability into your plan. You can do this in a number of ways. Number 1, you can get an accountability buddy. For almost a year and a half now, my sister and business partner Alicia and I committed to doing a workout regimen together. And even though we're not physically working out together, just knowing that we've committed to this plan together has dramatically improved our commitment to this habit. Another option is to use a habit tracker as a source of accountability. Every time you complete that habit, you tick off the box in your tracker. In Atomic Habits, James Clear talks about the benefits of habit tracking, like keeping you honest about your behaviors, showing your progress, which can serve as a big hit of motivation to keep it going, and being satisfying. It feels good to be able to put a check mark next to an activity or a habit that you've completed. It also feels good to see the growing streak of days you've completed a habit, which gives you more motivation to keep the streak going. So I want to share a really amazing tool with you that incorporates these important tactics. Alicia and I created a weekly self-care planner that will dramatically increase your success in sticking with your self-care commitments all year long. I've been using a planner for a long time, and I'm an avid proponent of using them because I've seen firsthand that a little intention goes a long way. For those of you that don't use one because you think that using a planner sounds stressful or rigid, I promise you the reality of using a planner is actually the opposite. Planners allow you to be intentional and organized, which significantly reduces stress and actually creates freedom in your life. Using a planner allows you the opportunity to make sure your self-care doesn't get put on the back burner. I'll put a link to the planner in the description below, but I want to give you a sneak peek inside to show you a few of my favorite pages in the planner that can really support your success in sticking to your self-care habits. The daily planner page is my absolute favorite because it acts like the North Star for my day. It has a schedule section, which is one of my favorite features because over the course of my life, I found that if I don't figure out specifically when I'm going to do a certain activity, the activity either doesn't get done or I'm really inefficient and inconsistent with the activity. The quote, "Failing to plan is planning to fail," is so relevant. Lack of planning can lead to feeling stressed, behind, overwhelmed, and sometimes unfulfilled, like you're just a robot going through the motions. Having a general plan for the day ahead sets you up for success and allows you to live with intention, choosing how you want your day to unfold. So every evening I take 5 minutes and pencil in the most important activities for the following day. You don't have to spend a ton of time using a planner. Taking just a few minutes of intention in the evening really helps me feel good about my day ahead when I wake up the following day. I think one important thing to keep in mind when using a daily planner is to allow yourself to be flexible. Life happens and sometimes unexpected things come up that can throw off the schedule. So I think the key to using a daily planner is to exercise self-compassion and grace. When the schedule doesn't go how I initially planned, I just readjust it. I absolutely love having a space on my daily schedule for an affirmation. We have a page in the planner for affirmation inspiration if you need help choosing one, but I think it's a great way to start the day with a positive and empowered mindset. There's a space to set an intention for the day, space to call out your top priorities so you can keep the most important activities in view, a section that you can jot down things that you want to address tomorrow, and a notes section. This page keeps you feeling positive, empowered, intentional, and ensures that your self-care isn't forgotten. The next page that I want to share is the daily self-care page. Everyone loves a checklist. It feels so good to check things off as completed, especially when they're things that we know make us feel good, like self-care practices and habits. There's a large list of self-care habits to choose from, and we've also added a few blank spaces for you to add your personal favorites. As we talked about earlier, trackers help you stay accountable and keep you honest to how committed you are to the habits that you want in your life. Every Sunday, you can look back at your week and take note of how often you're showing up for yourself with your self-care. That can help you get back on track the following week. We've added separate sections at the bottom of this page for hydration and sleep to emphasize their importance. These two habits are so vital to well-being, yet they're so widely neglected. It's easy to stay up too late scrolling social media or binging Netflix and rob yourself of precious, rejuvenating, and restorative sleep. It's also super easy to forget about drinking enough water during the day. Having these on your self-care page really helps keep them top of mind so you can keep up with those foundational self-care habits that nourish your body, mind, and overall well-being. The planner also has a goals page where you can map out your annual and weekly goals and check in with your progress towards your goals. We've included a workout planner page so you can map out what you're doing each week. As we talked about, planning out the smaller details of a habit increases your success with implementing that habit. There's a meal planner page to help you get intentional about nourishing yourself well, and a shopping list to keep you organized. There's a journal page to provide space for thoughts and ideas, as well as a space to reflect on how you feel, your personal development progress, and areas in your life that are opportunities for growth. If you're someone who's hesitated to journal because you live with others and you've felt maybe a bit uneasy putting your inner thoughts and feelings in a physical journal that could potentially be seen by curious eyes, A digital journal is a perfect way to keep your vulnerable moments secure and private. If you prefer a paper journal, you can print it off each week and add it to a binder. Staying committed to your self-care all year long doesn't have to take a ton of time or energy, it just takes intention. And when you are intentional about it, you often feel like you have more time and more energy. Using a planner can support this process, helping you cultivate a life that nourishes and fulfills you. But we'd love to know, what are your favorite ways to prioritize your self-care? Or what struggles have you come across in sticking to your self-care commitments? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you and support you on your self-care journey. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. We appreciate you and hope you found this video helpful. Make sure to check out the self-care planner in the description box, and let's commit together to keeping our self-care a priority in 2024.